Yeah.
You ready?
Oh, it says I'm live, but I always give it a few minutes, darling.
Yeah, because I didn't get a notification.
Yeah. See. Okay. Usually by now I'm clicked in. Uh, good Lord.
Oh, here we go. Got
We've
it.
got all these devices going on. All right. Good Lord. It must be Friday. We got through the week, didn't we, folks? To those of you who are brand new to this channel, and especially what we call the Tribal Forum, I'm Michael Noland, and this is the bottom line. That's the name of the channel, but when I stream live, we call it the Tribal Forum. Tonight is Tribal Forum number 55, where we talk about a whole lot of Led Zeppelin coming our way. I'm telling you, this news kind of hit me hard. As a matter of fact, I didn't know anything about it until I saw another content creator talking about this. I've been so wrapped up in covering Ozzy. For those of you who are wondering, why aren't we doing the Ozzy tribute? We're going to do that. All right. Let me tilt this down just a bit. Um, that's still coming. That's for Sunday. Remember, I said we'd do it on Sunday. And as I got through and going through the week, I decided, since I had to stream a day earlier, which was Tuesday than my usual Wednesday, I wanted something to sandwich in between. Okay. And so that's what we're doing tonight. Now, we're going to be talking about brand new Led Zeppelin releases. All right. What they are, and we're also going to be discussing what you guys think, not only here in the comments tonight, but what you've already inputted through a poll of mine. But before I get into all of that, take care of a little bit of tribal business, if you don't mind. First of all, a big shout out to three content creators. Now, it's been a while since I've given shout outs specifically to other content creators. I don't do that very often these days. I only do that for content creators that I really, excuse me, truly respect. And these aren't the only ones out of the content creators that I respect. So if you're not on here, please understand these guys are connected to what's going on with the channel tonight, specifically tonight's stream. And one of these guys is connected to us leading up to Sunday night stream, which, by the way, I stream at 5 o'clock, usually Sundays and Wednesdays, PST. All right, that's Pacific Standard Time. I'm based here in California, Northern California, the Big Valley, right? The Big Valley area. And so adjust your times accordingly. All right. So, what we're leading up to on Sunday, one of these content creators had a lot to do with as well. All right. So, the first shout out goes, and it always will go in this channel. This channel is more responsible for the size of this channel right now than any other individual that I can name. Of course, I'm talking about, and some of you are probably right now going, Soul Train Bro, Soul Train Bro, especially for those of you who have been with me for the better part of 3 years. Soul Train Bro is the name of the channel. Do not let that title fool you. Wayne owns the channel, or it's his channel, right? And when I still had under 1,000 subscribers and Wayne was 20 some odd thousand, I wouldn't have dreamed to ever make 20,000 subscribers in my life. I was naive at that point. I didn't know where this could go, right? And of course, one of our longtime viewers, it's been a while since I've mentioned uh, that she shared a video of mine with Wayne. She was a big proponent of Wayne. Of course, I'm talking about Helene Spalding, right? And she shared my video, or at least told Wayne you ought to check him out. And Wayne, for whatever reason, did, and he shared two of my videos. Back then that'd be anywhere from 13 to 20 minutes long, and he'd share the whole thing and then he'd make a comment on it. He was very respectful. and I gained probably upwards to about 14,000 subscribers with that push. All right. So it's always been my drive to continue to grow and to show Wayne that I've been worthy of his trust in me. And I think I've done that with your kind help. Anyway, Wayne just did a tribute video on Ozzy Osbourne. All right. And I just wanted everybody, these guys are in my description box. Just click on the title if you're watching the stream right now. It'll take you to the description box. And after your trip to the tribal store, go on down past that and you'll see these three gentlemen that I'm mentioning. I would love it if a ton of you just went over, you knew people who might not be aware of Wayne. Just go over there and sub to his channel. Man, the man did that out of the goodness of his heart. He's so damned real and very, oh God, you'd have to see him work. He is top notch. I'm a monkey compared to him, right? And on this latest video, he shared yet another video of mine, a short. And of course, that was a short. He said he's a chef and he works line cams. And so he's out of satellite range. And he said the first thing he saw when his phone got into range was my short announcing Ozzy Osbourne. And then he immediately put that his tribute videos, and Wayne puts very long tribute videos. You'll love what you see over there. All right. And a special thank you to Wayne. And Wayne, I truly do hope we've made you proud over here, brother. And by the way, folks, he is as tribal as I am. All right. He is a brother channel. I've mentioned Royce in the house. He's in my featured channel, right? We're going to mention three of those four featured channels that I have tonight. Wayne is the one that's been there the longest. Royce was, I knew Royce a little bit before, but we hadn't quite made our internet connection yet. We were still tight. He was answering my comments on his channel, right? So anyway, a big thank you to Wayne for sharing my short. The short's over 7,000 views, right? And it's far less than a minute. And I'm not even camera ready for it, but it got a lot of views. Matter of fact, if you look at the views from the short, and my regular video that I took a portion out of my last stream, plus the stream parts 1 and 2. Remember, we had to do that. And I will be reading the shout outs that I didn't get. We're in no hurry tonight. Didn't get to on my last stream. I promised you guys, who was it? Rockin' Robin Bird. You were concerned about it. I got everything. We're going to read your thing. And of course, give you a shout out for doing that, just like I always do. Now, the second content creator I wanted to mention is Vance from Zeppearl. Now, Zeppearl was in the peanut gallery there. I don't like to call it that. Let's not call it the peanut gallery. How about the chat, right? In the tribal chat. Earlier, he said that he's out traveling and he may not be able to see the stream, but I'm hoping he'll see it later because I want to give him a big shout out. This is the video I saw that informed me we were going to get new Led Zeppelin material. It took me, like I said, it took me by surprise. I had my teeth sunk into the Led Zeppelin story, or Led Zeppelin, the Black Sabbath story. And then when Ozzy died 15 days after that show, the whole story just continued, didn't it? And so I've been following that. And by the way, me doing my tribute on Sunday isn't going to hurt this. It's going to make it a better stream because every day that goes by, we've got new information. And so this will be the wrap up, the official wrap up of the Ozzy Osbourne / Black Sabbath stuff that we have done. So go over to Zeppearl. I've got a link to both of these guys. I've got a link to the specific videos. Now, the third guy I want to cover, I've covered many times, Royce in the House. I've got a link to his video. Like I said, usually I stream on Sundays at 5 o'clock, right? But this week, because of the passing of Ozzy, I went a day early, and Royce then took my usual 5 o'clock spot the next day, and he did a tribute to Ozzy, right? But both of those tributes, and you go over and watch it, it's still current and stuff like that. But both of those tributes, the one I did and Royce, are days old. And by the time we get to Sunday night, I can guarantee you there's going to be a lot more we can talk about regarding the passing of Ozzy Osbourne. Okay, let's see. Another thing. Did you notice? I'm going to brag for you folks. The tribe has now reached 46,000 subscribers. Did that yesterday, right? Isn't that wonderful? 46,000 subscribers. We're less than 4,000 away from achieving that goal we've been talking about, right? The goal is for the channel. I like to take it in chunks. Once the channel reached 45, I said, now we set our sights to reaching the 50,000 subscriber thing. It's always good to have a goal, right? I have goals. And some people say, hey, 5,000, that's quite a chunk. Well, we've just knocked out 1,000 right there. Now, despite that growth, and we're having phenomenal growth, I'm not complaining about that, but we'd even have far more phenomenal growth if you guys weren't being unsubscribed. We'd have bigger streams, larger audiences, because so many of you are saying, I'm not getting notified of your live streams. And so I always tell you guys, check both, whether you're subscribed, and if you are, check to see that your notifications are on. The notifications become real important for the live streams, right? You don't want, especially if you want to catch them live. Now, I leave my live streams up, and they continue to get a ton of more views than we get actually on the first streaming, you know. So you won't miss anything. But what I like doing here, folks, is have this live conversation with you. It's in the moment. You're what, maybe 5 seconds behind me from what I'm talking. And so that's about as in the moment as we can get. That's why I started streaming to begin with. And the success of these streams have been absolute, way beyond what I thought. And you guys, if you guys are thinking, yeah, isn't that what you just said about, yeah, I'm learning as a content creator, right? I'm learning how to stream. I kind of had an idea of what I was doing because I've always streamed over at Royce, but I've always been in a co-host position and not always second seat, right? So I learned kind of the ropes of being on a live stream. But when you carry the entire live stream by yourself, that's a whole different proposition, folks. You've got a lot of preparations to go. You got to be willing or able to give what I try to do. And this is why I think my streams are a little bit different than a lot of streams you see, is I try to give you a prepared videos worth of information. I work as hard on my live streams as I do my pre-recorded videos that I give to you just as my regular high def videos, right? I put the same kind of work into it. I even do some practicing on my openings. I will go over it a couple of times before, kind of as a rehearsal, but it's all live here. There's no dialogue here. All I've got is 4 or 5 words per note, and I've got probably a dozen notes here for tonight. So everything's off the top of my head. The notes help me to look up information that I may have specifically forgotten. And so you get a delayed, if it was a regular video, I'd just have all that stuff at my fingertips because I could remember it in the moment. But as I'm getting up here covering and seeing what you guys are saying in the comments, then you forget little details. All right. So I try to give you a video's worth of information every night. Let's see. Oh, and we were talking about the tribal store. This is just a little bit of tribal business here too. Everybody bothered me about getting tribal merchandise. You know, they wanted it. So many of you have already ordered your tribal mug. Let me explain why the image is backwards. My stream streams backwards. Now, my first stream didn't do that. Starting on the second stream, it did it. And the device I've got, there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm sorry about that. We're going to be correcting that in the future. But this is what we call the tribal mug. Now, this is the first design. We are the tribe. If you look at that, everybody's in a dark silhouette. So you know it's a group of people, different sizes, different sexes, but you see no skin color, right? You see no nationality because the tribe comes from all over the world, right? And we,
Oh my goodness, hon, Urges Splitting just came in with 5 gift memberships.
oh
Oh,
my goodness,
Urges Splitting, thank you so much.
Earger splitting,
Oh
you know, you've been doing this a lot, brother,
boy.
and you really are helping.
Oh, so
By the
sweet.
way,
Thank you, Urges
tomorrow
Splitting.
I will be doing
Oh,
a brand new members only video. All right, you guys are going to want to see it. That's all I got to say. Earger splitting. This is like a $25 super thanks. Thank you so much, brother. All right. Now, when this happens, folks, you get a free membership for a month, right? But we can't, it doesn't just show up to everybody and it's out of our hands. So the algorithm is designed to see what it thinks would be the most logical person to take that. And I have no idea how it's designed. I just do know it's designed to do that, right? So if you see that, grab that. I've got my last video. It might be getting close to a week old now. I do a 23-minute diatribe. I'm going to do some more speaking on a certain individual I talked to about there, uh, because somebody took their gloves off and me in the face. That's dual time. All right, but I like to keep that kind of stuff off to the side of the channel. That's where I really let my hair down and everything. And I calls them as I sees them, folks. But here, I just want to have a general good time and talk with you guys, folks. So, oh, and on the other side of the mug, he says this every time, Mildred, you get my mug, right? And of course, it says Michael Noland, the bottom line. Now, this is the second mug we have, and the same tribe there in silhouette on an island, right? With a giant monolithic Les Paul guitar to show us our way to the promised land, to the land of the tribe. And you can also choose that same design with a circle band around it if you like that design a little bit better. All three of those, you click on the tribal store link and one of them will show up, but just scoop down and you'll see the other designs that you can choose from. Now, when you get this one, remember, do not order the black. That one's out of my hands. It's still there because the mug will be black. All of this will be black. It'll disappear. All of this underneath here will disappear. And all you'll see is a black mug with my mug on the back side. If you want that, but don't order the black mug. This one also, all of them come in white. This one actually comes in a pastel blue as well, if you prefer. All right. So that was in direct response to what you guys were asking me. That's why I bring it up. A whole ton of you have already ordered that. Now, I wanted to go over, let's get, well, first of all, I've also got to make these announcements. I almost forgot you folks. And if I did that a second time, well, I didn't forget you the last time. The reason my last stream was shot was in part one, part two is we ran into buffering issues and I had to re-engage the stream. We had well over 200 people watching the first stream. It was growing, and I had to shut it down and get a new one, right, going up. We managed to get what was it? We well over 150, wasn't it, darling?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
the
right.
voice you hear is my wife. If you're new to the channel, that's
Hi,
Kimberly.
everybody.
Hi, everybody. She says, Kimberly
Happy
is my
Friday.
producer. You'll see her name
Happy
in the
Friday.
comments. She is my connection to you guys, right? while I'm going on, like I said, I prepare all this stuff, and she is absolutely essential. You guys have called her the
Oh,
tribal chiefess. I've called her
everybody
the
is
tribal
so
chiefess
wonderful here.
since I met her. You know, she usually calls the strings in our family because she does everything so
Oh,
well,
golly
right?
gee, hon.
So anyway, too much
Silly.
information, Mike.
You're so
Um,
sweet. No.
but anyway, I didn't get a chance to read some of these super thanks, but these are all from the same night,
Oh,
part one, part two. This first screen will have those of you who gave me a super thanks in part one. And those people were Bill Hawkins just came in and gave $20. He didn't write a single thing. Bill does that,
yeah.
you know, major supporter of this channel. Thank you, brother. $20 from Bill, $20 from Deuce's Wild. And this is one I didn't get a chance to read. Deuce says, now we're talking about Ozzy here and the passing of Ozzy. Remember that, and then we'll get on to Led Zeppelin here. He says those close to him knew his time was near, hence getting back to the beginning to happen due to this. Everyone crank some Black Sabbath and or Ozzy solo today. Whatever album, whatever song, whatever live show. Rest in peace, Ozzy, eternally. Wonderful. Well said. And you know, since you made that statement, I've done just that. I've listened to two albums all the way through in the last 2 days, even though it's been a bit bittersweet and painful to do so. When a favorite, um, we've
I
got
got
a,
it. I got it.
yeah, thank you. Uh, we just got a call. Am I still going, folks?
Yeah, you're going.
All right. All right. Good, good. Um, that was supposed to be blocked, spam call. Wait till I get my hands on them after the stream. But anyway, Deuces Wild, that was his $20 super thanks. Michael Boswell in with $2. We talk about the power of two here. Not everybody can give 20 bucks, 50, 100, right? But yeah, I'll toss him $2, support the channel, help him succeed. And Michael does this a lot, and he doesn't just limit it to this. But I say, you know, even $2 super thanks are just as gratefully accepted. They're just as important to the whole collective thing. And he says Ozzy is coming home. Rock on.
Oh,
Agent Pepsi, again, not to embarrass her, but the divine and teacher, Agent Pepsi One, gave us a $5 super thanks and said, I'm not a big Ozzy fan, but appreciate his music. Miracle Man is my favorite. Ozzy was a consummate showman, like Bowie, Alice Cooper, and Elton John. Oh, that's wonderful. I gotta get, you know, that's interesting that you bring that up, Agent Pepsi. Look what I got in the mail about, what was it, about a half hour before we went on, babe?
yep, about a half
About
hour
a half
ago.
hour. I was hoping I'd get this earlier today because I was on Caitlin's stream. Is Caitlin out there right now, darling?
I'm not, no,
Okay.
Piccolina's here. Caitlin's not here yet.
Okay. Well, Piccolino will let Caitlin know this. I was hoping it would arrive because then she had a link open and I would have got up on her stream uh, to premiere this. But this just came in. I've been talking about this, folks. Have you heard this album? Hmm? This album is fantastic. All right. I'm not going to talk about tracks here. We're talking about Led Zeppelin tonight, but I knew this was coming, and may have even decided to do my stream on this alone, but I couldn't guarantee that it was coming. This is wonderful. The artwork is great. The album comes in a yellow. I'm not sure. I'll know. I'm not going to do the opening here because that's due on one of my videos coming up, right? But it's Alice Cooper, The Revenge of Alice Cooper. All right. So, for the few of you who do not know anything about this album, this is Alice Cooper's latest album, but it's not Alice Cooper's latest album. You see, it's not Alice Cooper, the man's latest album. It's Alice Cooper, the band's latest album. The devil, you say. Well, I thought they broke up decades ago. True. But they've always remained friends. As a matter of fact, members have been on tracks of Alice Cooper's solo albums. But this album thanks to the magic of Glenn Buxton making a recording that they could turn into a song. Was it Glenn? It was Glenn that passed away, right? Yeah, Glenn Buxton, right? Uh, he passed away, I think, in 1997. But this album, thanks to that, now has all five members of the original Alice Cooper band and the four remaining original members to flesh out the rest of the tracks. Now, I'll tell you one thing I like about this album, folks, because a lot of people, I'm seeing people. I will say this much: I'm hearing the contrarians out there saying, "Well, it's all right, you see, but there's no elected. There's no I'm 18 on this album." Bullshit. And besides, all of us heavy Alice Cooper fans usually, I mean, elected is fine. I love the song. It's not my favorite song on that album, not by far. All right, it's all it to me to really understand Alice Cooper, you got to like this. You don't just get it and, oh, yeah, I'm 18 and I like this one, I like that one. But the rest of it, I never played it after you got, then you don't get Alice Cooper, is all I'm saying. All right. And so far from what I've heard, I'm going to give this another three listens before I do my review on it. But my goodness, I've been so excited about this. I ordered this back in April and it finally came, and it's been absolutely frustrating that I could not do this. And I've been seeing other people getting it 1 or 2 days earlier and doing it on YouTube. You know, it's like, what? Am I chopped liver here? Right? So anyway, she mentioned Alice Cooper and Elton John. I think Elton J. She said, but it's John. I'm sure. I love classic Elton John. I love Elton John when he's got Bernie Taupin. All right, that period. After Yellow Brick Road, his albums started getting a little more dicey and less interesting. Although there's still great stuff on all of them, right? I'm a big Elton John fan. I'm a big singer songwriter fan. All right. I'm a singer songwriter. And so I'm going to be interested in the McCartneys, the Elton Johns, right? And Bowie, for that matter. Rockin' Robin Bird came in with a $10 super thanks. And here's what Rockin' Robin Bird had to say. Grew up on Ozzy's solo and got into Sabbath. Oh, so you went back, huh, Robin? Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's kind of like when Bruce Cologne and I talk on, it's been a while. You know, I think he's on hiatus for the most part right now. Can't wait for him to get his town started again because he's got a lot to say. I really have a lot of respect for Bruce. Love to get you on the panel over at Royce's, Bruce, if you're watching this. I'm serious. Talk to Royce. You'd be a big help over there. All right, but we talk about how Bruce got into the Beatles being a second generation fan, and it sounds like Rockin' Robin Birds, coming in from a latter period and then going back here. I love it. I love it because that's a different perspective. See, there was no Ozzy period when I was 15. There was only Sabbath, right? Uh, I never got to see Ozzy play, but am glad I paid for the live stream. Me too, Rockin' Robin Bird. Matter of fact, my wife loves rock, all right, but she's probably more pop rock oriented. Like she loves the Beatles. She's a major Elton John fan.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about Elton John, she likes him even better than me. She likes his later period, where I'm not quite the fan that she is. We both love Billy Joel, right? So that's very interesting. Uh, she went, so she wasn't watching all of this of the concert. She was in and out. And if I thought, oh, you might want to see this, I'd show her something, and she'd go, oh, okay. But when Ozzy came out, she shut down everything. She wanted to see. She's never followed Ozzy, but she wanted to see what all the commotion was about. She had seen the responses in the streams that Royce and I did, and it kind of got her excited to at least see that portion. And she loved it. And she's not a heavy metal fan whatsoever, right? I think she likes some of the cuts off the Black Metallica album. But other than that, Black Sabbath, she likes Black Sabbath. But once again, our generation, we didn't, well, she's not quite my generation. She's a few years younger than me, but she had older brothers that were close to my age. I think her oldest brother was a year younger than me. And so she got to know classic rock through them, even though she came in just a tad late for seeing it the first time. First time she ever saw Rod Stewart was during his she knew when he was with the Small Faces there, or Rod Stewart and the Faces. She knew a couple of their hits. She was but then it hurt. Later on when he did "Do You Think I'm Sexy," she doesn't like it, right? And I don't like that period of Rod Stewart, but it's always been hard for me to con my wife into thinking, look, this guy's actually one of the best blues singers out there, which is what I feel. And to her, his voice is just like fingernails on a chalkboard for her.
Yes.
Kind of like when I listened to Axl Rose, to be honest with you. Gotcha, Caitlin. All right. So let me make sure I got all of this. I think we can all agree Ozzy is one of the best musicians in classic and modern rock, and he transcended it, didn't he? Rock and Robin Bird. He transcended. Wonderful. Ben Scheidegger, I grew up listening. He gave a $20 super thanks. I grew up listening to Ozzy with Black Sabbath. I would come to tears listening to Changes. Oh, God, me too.
Miss Caitlin's in.
Oh, hey, Caitlin. We're talking about you where your ears burning. Okay. Let's see. I just revealed my Alice Cooper, by the way. I just got it, Caitlin. And I was telling the tribe here that I was hoping it would come while you were still on stream because you had that open link. I would have gotten up there and shared it with you. I would have unboxed it on your channel. But it came like about an hour and a half after you shut down. Go to Caitlin's channel, sister channel to this one. She's a doll. Let's see.
Wonderful.
So Ben Scheidegger gave a $20 super thanks, and he says, I grew up listening to Ozzy with Black Sabbath. I would come to tears listening to Changes as a troubled teenager, as I resonated with its lyrics, and I concur wholeheartedly, Ben. As it helped me cope. His spirit will continue to live on through his music. And then Oberheim, Brandon, and I'm still trying to figure, are you Brandon 1351 as well? Or is that two different Brandons? I'm trying to figure that out. But he gave us a $10 super thanks and said, just shocked. Now, these I'll just give the super thanks. We're not going to read them. I already read them on part two. But RBR, the Retro Beat Repository, came in with a $6 super thanks. Thank you, Retro Beat. Rokai came in for the first time, I think, $5 super thanks. Thanks, brother or sister. Rokai. Crazy Scott. Scott gave us a $2 super thanks. Deuce is Wild, a $5 super thanks. Rock and Robin Bird, another $2. Actually, she came in with $2. I remember that. So she was in for $14 for the night. Thank you so much, darling. I appreciate it. And sorry for the confusion there. Just the Facts Man, another Brian channel, brother channel to this channel, came in with a $10 super thanks. Him and Royce this Sunday are going to be streaming, and they're going to be interviewing a special musician. So be on the watch out for that. Then Michael Boswell ended the evening with a super thanks of $2. The power of two. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it so much. All right. So, what else was it? We got an inordinate amount of trolls.
Oh, Oberheim wanted me to let you know that yes, Oberheim is also Brandon 1351.
Thank you. I thought so.
For some reason, he says YouTube changes it.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, I thought it was.
Woo-hoo,
I thought.
Oberheim.
I thought you were the same person. You can kind of get the way people speak. And when you leave your comments, I thought, yeah, that's got to be Brandon. But then I didn't want to just assume that, So I always appreciate your 1351 persona or your Oberheim persona, Brendan. And you know, I appreciate you. I wanted to talk about the trolls we got. You know, what happens is certain streams go up, they encourage trolls. And when they go up at around the time, and there were two streams that trolls hit all over the place on my last stream, and evidently they came in on the droves. And Kimberly told me after, man, nobody could keep up with Storm Cop, and then Ben Scheidegger told me, no, I was shooting them down too.
Yeah, Ben is really good too. He's
yeah.
fast. Oh, those guys are like the sheriffs of the tribe.
Yeah. Well, they're tribal marshals, and I appreciate that. All right. Now, if you can, make sure you just hit troll alert, because we're not putting up with the bullshit. You know, plenty of channels out there will put up with your bullshit, right? Tribe ain't gonna put up with you. It's not even me. I'm not even monitoring, and you get your asses kicked out of here. All right, because we have a thing going here. Now, if you want to come in, nobody's watching your name or anything, and you really want to truly join the conversation, instead of doing something deconstructive and showing what a subhuman you are, you're welcome to join the conversation. But if you're going to act like an asshole, we know how to deal with assholes around here. We're not putting up with that. So I did want to thank those tribal members for keeping the language clean. Let's keep on with what we're talking about. All right. So let me make sure I covered all of that. Yeah, I wanted to go over to the poll results first. I have photos up that will share information on what we're going to be talking about and everything else. If you go to the poll, it's just now hit 3 hours long. So this is extremely early in the poll. My view, I've been on for a bit, so it may be up to about 250 votes so far. That's really good for 3 hours. Many of my polls reach 1,000 and tens of thousands, right? But the first 3 hours going, it's a surprise poll. It's not connected to anything but this stream that I'm doing today. It was a setup. But with 200, let's say we've got 250 here. It says 214 here, but I've been on this device for an hour. So it may be, there's a few more votes in there. But even at, let's say, 214, here's the question I address to you folks. How excited are you about the upcoming Led Zeppelin physical media release? Says. What you talking about, Willis? Well, I'm talking about the Led Zeppelin DVD. Becoming Led Zeppelin is now going to be out, right? Royce and I predicted that was, of course, going to be a thing. I was wondering if I don't know what the release date on that. I just saw that, right? I think Vance covers all that in his excellent video that I already mentioned. But the DVD is coming out, right? We also have been notified that we're getting a special 50th anniversary uh, extended version of Physical Graffiti, a 3 LP if you buy it on vinyl. 3 LPs, not a double album, a triple album. The third album will have additional tracks that didn't make it, or non-fleshed out tracks, or the basic rhythm track with vocals removed. There's some stuff they've done with that. It looks very interesting. Damn them to hell, because I just got my version of Physical Graffiti not too long ago, and now I'm going to have to update that, because of course I'm going to want that bonus LP along the line, or somewhere along the line. And then they're also releasing, to kind of go along with it, a brand new. They're calling it an EP. I think it's 34 minutes um, long. It's over 30 minutes. To me, anything over 30 minutes is an album. I can show you plenty of albums from the 60s that were 30, 31, 32, 33 minutes, and they were considered a full album. The whole idea To me, an EP in the old days was 4 songs, right? You got 4 songs. So what did that? You had 3.5 on average. You got 7. You got 14 minutes for the EP. This is 30 minutes. This is more, and it's all on one album, right? Um, so I asked, what do you guys feel about that? And you could have chose, I'm all in. I want the DVD, I want physical graffiti, and I want that new EP, right? Or you could have voted, I want the DVD and the live EP, but not physical graffiti. You know, I'm almost tempted to vote along those lines. I just bought the damn thing, folks, right? Now I got to go out and do it again. Good Lord. But I will, because I Led Zeppelin's my second favorite band of all time, beneath the Beatles only. I gotta have it, right? I gotta have it. Um, and then the third choice was I'll take physical graffiti and the EP, but we'll pass on the DVD, right? And actually, this is the one that I think almost it would be my answer. And the reason I say that is I already own the DVD or the movie as a digital purchase, right? Um, However, this comes with some bonus stuff and everything. And I do like the idea of physical media, as you guys know. I'll probably eventually get to it, but I got a few other things I got to get to before. And then the fourth choice that you could choose was I have all the stuff I want from them. I'll pass on this one. All right. The most common answer out of so far 214 of you, although this is shrinking from early, there very early on, 60% of you were voting. I have all the stuff I want from them. I'll pass on this one. Right. But it's only at 48% now. We'll see as this poll goes. Now, in second place is 30% combating that. So a strong second place. I'm all in. I want the DVD. I want the physical graffiti. I want the new live EP, right? And then tied at 11% each is I want the DVD, the live EP, but not physical graffiti. And I'll take physical graffiti and the EP, but we'll pass on the DVD, right? So that's where you're at right now. We'll see if we've got some time to get in there and see where you are in the chat as as we go along. Um, which leads me, let me make sure I'm on the right one here. Uh, this, like I said, this one release kind of took me by surprise. First of all, I didn't know that they were even considering doing the 50th anniversary. Like I said, I've been so wrapped up in what we've been covering with Black Sabbath, looking for brand new releases has taken a back seat, right? At this point, I was looking for store. Well, I've already talked about that. Now, if you buy the extended version, what do you get? Well, for one thing, you would get this. If you guys take a look at that, you get the 3 LPs, right? You get the jacket, but you also get a poster there, all right? A special poster for it, all right? And you also get a copy of Sit Up and Behave, or, oh, I've got it. Oh, you get a copy of the program, all right? And what was that for? That's was that Nebworth? I'm trying to remember which one. Earl's Court program. Okay, so it's a total copy. You know you're going to get a reprint of that, and of course the album will come with 3 LPs if you buy it on vinyl. All right. Now, when I take a look at all of that, I'm going. Let's take a look at physical graffiti. First of all, physical graffiti for a long time was my very favorite Led Zeppelin album. All right. And then, I've told the story before here. So, and it's my second favorite double album in rock. All right. I think it's an absolute masterpiece. And so, if they're going to offer an extended version, sometime down the line, I got to get it. I could only order one of these, right? And I had, like I said, I just got this. I just got this one. weeks ago. So I'm not going to get this one right away, unless I hear that it's, oh, look, limited and you can only get this. But if it's going to be available, I'll hold off on it till, into summer to beginning of fall, somewhere around there. But you can get it for $64.95. And like I said, it comes in with, it's sides A, B, C, D, E, F, right? I'm not going to go over what's on disc one, disc two. We all know that. We know the lineup of the album, but it's on disc uh, three, starting with side E. They've got Brandy and Coke, which is basically trampled underfoot. It's an initial rough mix, and I'd love to hear that. Uh, and that's 5 minutes and 38 seconds. Then you've got Sick Again, an early version, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. In My Time of Dying, initial rough mix, and with what we're going to be talking about here in a few minutes, yeah, I want this one. Okay, because uh, is it my time of, yeah, in My Time of Dying, that's going to be on something I'm interested in. So I want to get this eventually, right? And that's initial rough mix. It's 10 minutes and 45 seconds, right? And then you've got side F, Houses of the Holy, rough mix with overdubs. And that's about 3 minutes 51 seconds. Next up was Everybody Makes It Through, or In the Light. It eventually became. It's an early version, In Transit, they call it. 6 minutes and 27 seconds. See, I'm salivated at hearing some of this stuff. F3, Boogie with Stu, Sunset Sound Mix. And that's 3 minutes and 36 seconds. Driving Through Kashmir, which is Kashmir, rough orchestra mix. All right. And so you get that. All right. So, and it says note this pre-order item expected to ship September 12th. Your order will ship when all items are in stock. All right. And you can order that through two separate places. Just look it up and go to the Led Zeppelin site, and they've got an alternative site that you can go ahead and order that with. All right. Let me make sure I've got this. I thought I had others up here. Um, oh, another thing, Zeppearl brought up a good point, because the next thing they're going to be releasing is they're going to be releasing the live EP. All right, let me go over here and get this. And Zeppearl said, I will say this, Michael, I would rather have seen a monster all 5 nights Earl Court or Nebworth live box set to be put out. That's what I want. Live albums from 75, 77, 79, 80. But but I do have my bootlegs, right? And I've got a couple of bootlegs as well. Vance knows that, but nowhere near like Vance over at Zeppearl uh, has. The man has an incredible collection. Um, so that leads me to this announcement. This is the one that really caught my eye. A new 4 song EP collecting live tracks from Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti. See, it's a compliment. If you look at the album cover, let me see if I've got it here. Well, they've only got a portion of it. I'll find it later, but it's done in the window fashion. You got 4 windows. It's like a light beige color around it. I'm not excited about the look of it, but you can tell it's a companion piece for this 50th anniversary is basically what it is, right? And let me make sure here. It says the new 4 song EP collecting live tracks from Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti is being released to celebrate the classic album's 50th anniversary this year. The live songs come from 2 concert appearances, one from 1975 and the other from 1979. Led Zeppelin's live EP will be released September 12th. You can hear Trampled Underfoot from Earl's Court on YouTube, by the way. All right. Now, all 4 of these tracks come from this concert. So a lot of you might be thinking, do I have this upside down? Yes, I do. Sorry. A lot of you might be thinking, well, if I've got that, I don't need this, right? Well, here's my problem with that, folks. Uh, See, I have it, and I want this LP. Matter of fact, I've already ordered it. Okay, it's coming, and can't wait to get it. Uh, that was the first thing. It was affordable. You can get it for $20. All right, so it's not that expensive at 30 plus minutes, and these four tracks. Wow. Listen to the one track available on YouTube if you don't have the DVD I just showed, and you'll find out it's a wonderful um, um, uh, performance, right? I even like the special effects they have there. But here's the deal: when I think of these companion pieces, right? Especially stuff that's been brought from a DVD. Uh, I start thinking, well, wait a minute. You know, the only problem with that is we've already got that music. Why wouldn't I, if I'm playing say I'm playing Led Zeppelin, and all of a sudden I go, yeah, this reminds me of that great concert version of Kashmir, you know, and you go, you could go, oh, okay, I'll just grab that and I'll switch my sound system over to the TV. I'll slip that on in and watch it. Or I'm entirely too lazy for that, folks. Or you can own the LP. You might even see the LP as you're flipping through what you're gonna. You know, I'm in the Zeppelin mood tonight, right? You go through the albums. What do I want to listen to? You know, and you see that puppy, boom. Or if you change your mind, you're listening to Led Zeppelin 3 and you want to hear that for whatever reason. Well, you just get up, you readjust things, you grab that. You don't have to switch into different systems. Plus, it's nice. Nice. There's a warmer sound to vinyl we've talked about, right? You get involved in the whole process. We've talked about that too. So that's why I want to own it. I don't know what you guys would think about that, but to me, that would be a real valid reason to be excited about this. Let's see. Also, we're also going to be getting a brand new Robert Plant album, tons and tons of Led Zeppelin, right? The album's going to be called Saving Grace, and he's already got a single out. I guess it's a single. It's the one that it's the pre-release at the very least, and it's called Everybody's Song. What a wonderful song! What a wonderful song. And notice so far, he's doing exactly what he was doing. He's got a new female partner, but he's taking the low ends for the most part on this song. And I would imagine this is going to be a continuation of a lot of the stuff we've heard before. This is his new incarnation. He hasn't fully fleshed it out yet. He's still fixing with it. There is some great offbeat stuff on that single, Everybody's Song. Very kind of takes you, and then you kind of go, that's jarring. The rhythm, it almost skips like a heartbeat, you know, like like you've got a pitter patter in your heart. Oh, pa 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 pa, right? And he does a lot of that. But then you listen to it the second time and you go, oh yeah, I remember that. And it sits a little more calm. Third time through, you're expecting it. It becomes the hook. Very great stuff, right? I absolutely adore what I'm hearing there. I'm hoping the rest of the album turns out to be that good. So we've got Robert Plant coming up with brand new material, brand new single we can listen to right now. Led Zeppelin is giving us a 3 LP version of Physical Graffiti, right? Along with some other goodies in there that you get for getting that. You also got the live EP called Live, Led Zeppelin Live, coming out, as well as the DVD. And of course, earlier this year, they were the big news when Becoming Led Zeppelin came out. And you know what? I think we would have still been talking a whole lot about Led Zeppelin over the last couple of weeks if it hadn't been for the fact that Black Sabbath and Ozzy did their last show. And of course, we're building up to that. But if you take all the spotlight that was on Ozzy and Black Sabbath, it's been a real good year. When was the last time that Led Zeppelin re-released anything or anything? Was that 2014? Maybe something as late as 20. what, 2017 maybe, uh, but uh, well over 10 years for the initial, re-releases and stuff that was coming. Royce and I have talked on his show. Yeah, it'd be nice to get some new Led Zeppelin stuff that's coming out. I want to hear it. One of the things, and that's another thing. That's another reason why I'll probably wind up getting physical graffiti, is because I've got physical graffiti, but I don't have that version. And I also have, what was it? What was the album I was just thinking of with them? Uh, where I got, oh yeah, here it is. Led Zeppelin 2. All right. Well, this one also has the alternative album on it. I've shown that before. It has the alternative cover. I've got my record in the sleeve there, but it's got the alternative. I want to get those too. Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, the Beatles are three bands that I will go the extra distance for. I'll give you another example. I pre-ordered Paul McCartney's um, Venus and Mars, you know, uh, finally broke down and did that. And the reason that I did that was I had a used copy of Venus and Mars and I listened to it, right? And I was amazed how punchy the album was. Listening to it bare bones on a kind of poppy version. It's an original release, so there's pops and stuff. But I can ignore that, and I was amazed with the power of the voice coming forward, power of the percussion, power of solo instruments. Right in your face, and yet so perfectly blended. Then I bought a secondhand version of Speed of Sound, and I listened to that. And I felt like I was listening to Marshmallows. First of all, I don't think it's anywhere near as strong an album as Venus and Mars. Venus and Mars, in my opinion, is as strong as Band on the Run. All right, to me, they're kind of like twin albums, right? But here's the deal: that shocked me so much because with Venus and Mars, you have all this punch. And then I listened to it. I'm not talking about Speed of Sound being a bad album or I don't like the songs. That we're not getting into that. I'm talking about the overall mix. It's marshmallowy, vocals hidden way back, total different approach. And so the first thing I did when I noticed that, and I knew they had the 50th anniversary for Venus and Mars remastered and everything, I had to get the new one. And I'll tell you why, because I want to see if they've preserved that punch. Because if they do, that's a future video that's coming from me, folks. I guarantee you. It's going to happen. All right. So a lot of that's been going on. So here's the deal that I'm saying is having physical media for a lot of us is kind of important. It's kind of cool, right? There is a movement. People. What was it? CDs are making a comeback because they're so inexpensive. Tapes, old cassette tapes are coming back. People are tired of not truly owning something. When say you have a streaming service like Spotify or Apple Music, right? Um, you never really truly own that stuff, you know, and it's like you're renting it. Now, granted, it's convenient. Library is immense. It has its draws, but it also to me has its drawbacks because you get no sense of ownership when you order an album and you take it out for the first time like I did today. You smell it, you look at it. Oh, that's what the artwork really looks like. you know you feel the cover. Is it high gloss, or is it almost like a cloth like feel, or something in between, right? You get involved in putting it down. People are missing that, folks. People want to, it's not ownership because none of us are going to take any of this with us, you know, but it's the closest thing to ownership you can have. You purchase something and you get a thing back, not a digital copy of a thing that you play on a device or a TV or through Apple TV or whatever. Could be talking about movies or anything else. A lot of people want to go back to movies. We thought that was the end. of owning physical copies of movies. People are wanting that stuff now. You know, they want a library. They want a sense. I think it adds a sense of home. And when only your device, say you have an iPad or an iPhone, you've got your music on, hundreds, a million songs available to you on these things. You buy digital copies of movies, or yeah, like I do. And the problem with that, you can't make a copy of it. You can't make a screen recording of anything like that, and yet you pay full price like you went down to the store to buy it. So those are the drawbacks, right? So when these physical copies come out, I get a little more excited about it, and I'm glad to see that Led Zeppelin is messing with their catalog. We've been talking about. You just watch now that Ozzy has passed away. There's going to be new material. Uh, Patient Number Nine will be his final album. It doesn't matter how many posthumous albums, that caps his career. And I think he did a fine job with that. Wow, what a powerful way to go out there. What a powerful way to go out by, playing to the world, both to a very large live audience and to the world. Anybody who wanted to purchase a ticket online, what a way to go out. I spent some time on that talking about it, and I'm going, did the concert do him in? A lot of you disagreed, and I'm tending to change my mind to agree with you folks. It wasn't that the concert did him in. It may have been that he literally, the concert quite literally kept him alive. And he had just 15 days left in the battery after that. I listened to a lot of your comments out there. You made sense. I think Royce believed that too. And when I thought about it, because it just seemed like everything was coming up, it wasn't there. And I thought, yeah, the thing took it out of him. He couldn't recover. But either way, it doesn't matter. What a way to go out. We've talked about this on streams. Other streams have talked about, people who, why isn't he retired? It doesn't matter. Keith Richards, he'll be stumbling around till he just drops dead in front of an audience one of these days, if he's allowed to, right? Some people have no plans to ever retire. And all I ask is, hey, listen, that's cool. I don't mind if you don't have any plans to retire. That's fine. But give us new material. And guess what? Alice Cooper is one of those folks. And he says he has no plans of retiring. Matter of fact, he was responding to Ozzy Osbourne's death. And he was talking about that. He never saw Ozzy as a man that would retire. He knew him. He wasn't great friends with him. He says actually he knew Sharon a little bit more than he knew Ozzy. But him and Ozzy teamed up. Yeah, played live together. They've done things. And he says I liked him when I saw him. But he says I wouldn't say I was a great friend. But he says I'm going to tell you, I always knew he was a lifer. He says I'm a lifer, and you can always tell a lifer. A lifer will always tell a lifer. All right, I'm going to go on over here to the comments here and see what you guys are thinking about this. Let's see. Caitlin says, Michael, I'm currently blogging about the Revenge of Alice Cooper. I think you mentioned that on your show. Caitlin is a writer, a rock writer. So, yeah, that'd be interesting. I got to check that out. Let's see, who else? Brian Bingham. I will need to listen to more Hawkwind on YouTube on my smart TV. I've listened to them. They're good. I, I've just never gotten into them. Now you put a bug in my ear. Thanks. Kevin Still, music and other carnage. I like Alice's new album, arrived today. So you got yours too, Kevin? Awesome. Yeah, I've been listening to it online. I haven't even opened this sucker. Yeah. Matter of fact, that's the first time I pulled it out fully. I just pulled it out enough to know, oh, yeah, that's the one I want. You guys saw it for the full time right here live today. Caitlin agrees that it's fantastic. And if you guys want to talk Alice Cooper, we can switch it over to there. Um, let's see. I really like an official issue of Earl's Court 24th 75 Blu-ray with a modern remix. Yeah, that's something to think of. When was that? It was early 2000s when that came out, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. This is how we curate rock. This is how we get recordings that had limitations sometimes and can bring them. The Beatles are doing a lot of this with their remixes. They're bringing them into more contemporary remixes. And most of the time, they're hitting it square on. There's a couple of times they've done a horrible job. So we have to be real careful to procure and keep the original uh, basic sound. You know, I don't mind it getting bigger. I don't mind it becoming clearer, but don't be changing John Lennon's vocals. You know, don't pitch control anybody. Let's get it down to the way it is, right? Um, Brian Bingham, I already had my favorite tracks on the new Alice Cooper. Um, I already, oh, okay. You've already chosen them? Yeah, what was it? Kill the Flies? Killing the Flies? What I'm trying to remember the name of the song. It's either Kill the Flies or Killing the Flies. That's the one that's got me going right away. When I heard that, I went, oh, yeah. Oh, that's old Alice right there. See, to me, the album is full of songs that uh, you would expect on a brand new Alice Cooper album. Now, I haven't heard it enough to know if there isn't a hit. You know, their third pre-release, "Up All Night," was that what it was called? To me, was a little generic, but it wasn't going to stop me from buying the album. I loved it. I liked the first two cuts a little bit better, but I was also pleased that they went kind of uh, for a more pop rock oriented, if you can call anything that Alice Cooper ever did. But it's more radio friendly, right? But I love Flies. So what do you guys think of that? Ben Scheidegger, becoming Led Zeppelin needs a part two to get the anthology all the way until Bonham tragically died. Yeah, it needs part two, part three, part four, probably. But there's no plans of that from what I've heard. But, money talks. Was it Ben? Yeah, money talks, Ben. And if these pre-releases make money, the DVD makes money. They say the Led Zeppelin movie makes money. That softens a lot of people's attitudes about, and opens the possibilities of expanding what they have to offer, updating if they can. But again, if you're going to update, if you're going to remix or remaster, you have got to be respectful to the original sound. That's a mighty heavy responsibility to me, folks, right? I'm all for technology, but I'll give you an example of what shouldn't be done. And my longtime viewers will probably guess right now uh, what I'm going to suggest. But um, who is Martin, George Martin's son? Uh, Remix of "I Am the Walrus" is abysmal. To me, that's almost a raping of that song. It's obscene, right? I don't like it at all. No respect to the original. As a matter of fact, I think the original doesn't even need to be remixed. It's got those hard edges that come in, but it sounds like the song. And uh, I could see you patting those edges coming in a little bit, but there still better be a hard intro into it. And he fooled around with that and failed as far as I'm concerned. So when we're getting these remasters or we're getting additional stuff, I want to hear, for example, if we're getting an unfinished version of such and such, then I want to hear something that's going to be interesting. It's got to be worth it. I don't want you just throwing out stuff you couldn't get rid of. I don't want you just throwing out stuff that was never even in contention for being considered a good track or even a release. If you're going to release stuff, remember, especially with Led Zeppelin and the Beatles, remember your pedigree and make sure everything that you offer mounts up to that, right? And I'm hoping, well, I've heard these live versions for this new live album. I'm just going to be glad to have it in my record collection. Yeah, because that's the way I prefer to listen to Led Zeppelin. I don't listen to them digitally anymore. I go straight to the records. That's the way I want to play them, right? And so having that now, damn it, I'm gonna have to get another physical graffiti after just getting one. Oh, boy, doesn't feel good, folks. Uh, Kevin Still Music and Others. Everyone forgets he co-wrote Jesus Christ Superstar. Who are we talking about here? Um, Tim Rice. Okay, Tim Rice. Is that who you're talking about, brother? Alex Trio. Nice to be here again. It's good to see you, Alex. Divining Dragon. Always the one of the first to respond. How you doing, Alex? Right. Caitlin Stoddard. I know I put the Black Sabbath Earth demos on my list. Yeah, me too. Of course, of course. Uh, let's see who else. Hello, tribe, says Alex. Uh, who else is here? Joe? Did I miss a Joe? Oh, Joe's in. I just saw it. The name is so small. I just kind of went by. He says, "Hi, folks. Led Zeppelin." Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. It's been years since we've gotten anything to kind of get real excited about with Led Zeppelin. Matter of fact, nothing since I started my channel. And a whole lot of the beginning of this channel, folks, was me covering Led Zeppelin. The other big thing I used to cover was the Beatles. I will continue to cover them, right? But I had covered their albums, I had covered the basics and everything, and I've just been looking at different angles and approaches to cover it to make it interesting enough. I don't want to just do the same old content. And plus, I needed to get away from both of those bands for a while because I was almost ignoring other things. So we'll go back and forth. I'm a one man shop, but I'll always get there, in the end. If I haven't covered a band that you like, go to my more page and you'll see there's 13 bands there. There's that are like voted by most of my subscribers, tens of thousands of votes voting for those top 13 bands. And there's bands there I haven't begun to cover well enough yet either. So you can imagine even more of those bands will be coming down the line. Uh, we hijacked Michael's chat. Oops. Uh, yeah, Half Mouth Will Travel, brother. Brian Bingham, I bought the physical Graffiti vinyl album shortly after it was originally issued back in the 70s. Yeah, I never owned it on vinyl. First time I bought it was on CD. It was too expensive for me back in the day at the time, as I recall. But then when I got it on vinyl, it's like, yeah, that's the way I don't own it on DVD, CD anymore. I have very few CDs. It's not my preferred physical media. I used to own, well, about 12, over 1,200 CDs. I had a large vinyl collection at one time as well. MB Boyak, old enough to know that you can't take it all with you. With all the music at your fingertips online, don't let the marketing bleed you dry. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, but there's also something about putting your fingers on it. What remaining years I have, Boyak, you know. Um, I like it. I'm a very hands-on kind of person, very tactile, right? I like to see in the three dimension what I am going to put on, and then hear the fourth dimension of the sound coming on. Kind of a magical feel to that. Something that I think we miss from vinyl. Even with digital CDs, it's physical media, so at least you get, oh, that's pretty, and oh, okay, what is the artwork there? A little small, but if you're young and your eyesight's still razor sharp, I guess it's fine. And I can understand you liking it, but it disappears. You put it in the machine, it goes away. Might as well be online for me. But any vinyl enthusiast will tell you, man, you remove that top cover or you keep it open. You don't put it down. And even if I did, I have a crystal clear vinyl cover or record player cover, turntable cover, uh, and I could still see it. But there's something about watching um, vinyl, the needle dance across the vinyl, you know, and watching it get there. Yeah, and you look and you go, how many songs in? And you look, oh, ooh, I'm only about 60% through. What's next? You know, that type of thing. You know, the artwork's easier to read. Help a poor guy out. I'm an old man now, folks. You know, need big pictures. What can I say? Divining Dragon, it is due to the surprise midweek stream tonight after one night before last. Yeah. Are we talking about, let's see if you're responding. Are you talking about maybe likes and everything? It looks like we have had a pretty damn decent audience for a Friday night. This is only the second time I've ever streamed on a Friday night. All right. And it will probably be, it would have to be for a very special reason, under under the circumstances I started talking about when we first started this stream. All right. And But Friday nights, usually around this time, I'm either shooting a video for Sunday so that I can then spend, Saturday setting up my Sunday stream. But I did want to cover this because I knew I had promised you guys a uh, a final tribute stream to Ozzy. Kind of almost a final say goodbye to him. And I didn't want to wait till next Wednesday to cover this. You know, so I made the uncomfortable decision of getting everything ready for this morning and going online today. Let's see. All your text in the background is reversed again. Yeah, it is, Chris Robinson. Um, it has to do either with the device I have or the it's got to be the device. I don't understand it. I haven't made any adjustment to me. I've looked into how I can change it. We can't. And part of it is I'm using a scaled down platform to stream. All right. It's very basic. And that will be changing down the line. Now, if I use a portion of my streams, I usually flip the image. If I use a portion of my streams to kind of use as a regular video, I'll flip the image, I'll color correct and all of that. But I am sorry you have to put up with that. I really am. All right, folks, we've gone over an hour. This was a special stream. I'm going to go ahead and call it off tonight. Please get on over there and make your vote known on my poll. Okay. I want to hear from you guys on this. Is this going to be financially successful for Led Zeppelin? Or is this going to be, just another thing that only boutique customers might be interested in? All right, folks, I'm Michael Noland. Tonight has been Tribal Forum number 55. And join me on Sunday night at 5 o'clock, where we will be covering a final tribute, a final goodbye to Ozzy Osbourne, who passed away at the age of 76, just in case you've been living under a rock. It's been really sad. After a triumph of a performance at Back to the Beginning, their final concert, and just it shocked the world, absolutely shocked the world. So join me on Sunday night at 5 o'clock. All right, folks, I'm Michael Nolan. This is the bottom line. Tribal Forum number 55. I will see you on my next stream. Night, folks.